Let's talk about sites, baby. Let's talk about your money. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about your websites. This is Lisa from LisaRobbinYoung.com coming at you with another live edition of Creative Freedom, your dose of education and inspiration to help creative entrepreneurs like you own your dreams without selling your soul. And today I want to talk to you guys about ugly websites and why ugly websites are sexy websites, why ugly websites sell. This has become a topic of conversation because of a couple of things that have happened recently with some of my clients who are considering changing their brands, updating their websites, creating a new look and feel, and they're all talking about websites and wanting to plow all this money into doing stuff on their websites, and I'm like, dude, your business isn't making enough money to plow that kind of money into a website right now. And I get, believe me, I get the idea that you want to invest money in a way that you're going to recoup. So, maybe you're not making that much money right now and you're counting on your website to bring the revenue in to pay for itself. I get that. And there's a caution here, because if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have a strategy in place to turn that website into cash, you're fooling yourself. You're pissing your money away. And I say it with love because I know the barrier to entry right now is super low. You can get a slick, flashy website. I've seen them $100, right? You get a customized WordPress theme and you plug in the premium theme to your WordPress site and boom, you've got this super flashy, fancy ooh la la. And sometimes that's great, that's all you need. And sometimes that doesn't work because it's more than you can handle. You don't even know how to run the 45 different widgets and doohickeys that are built into this custom theme, and you're like, I don't know what this stuff does. And now you just created a bunch of work for yourself instead of creating something that's actually going to move the ball down the field to create more revenue in your business. Tracy Lay has joined us. She is my designer. I am so glad you're here, Tracy. Hello. Thank you for joining us today. So I want to talk about 3 questions that you need to really check in with yourself about before you're ready to jump into spending a lot of money on a website, before you end up with what I call a Stepford website. It's pretty, but it don't work. You don't need that. You need something that's going to be effective. The whole point of having a website for your business is to sell your offerings. Whatever your offerings are. I don't care if you're selling physical products, services, digital. I don't care what it is you're offering. The website is supposed to sell the offering. So, if you're a creative entrepreneur, sometimes an ugly website will do the job just fine. Now, when I say ugly, I don't mean chaotically distracting with 75,000 blinky, flashy things that are pulling your attention every which way and you don't even know what this website is about. That's just a disgusting website. I'm talking about an ugly website. A website that's, it's all right, it kind of does what it needs to do, and maybe you're bored with it, or maybe you're just chomping at the bit to do something different. But, it's not pretty, it's not slick, it's not flashy, it's not Marie Forleo's new website. That's like the gold standard that everybody points to now, and oh my gosh, it has some really cool elements in it, and you don't need that shit. You don't need it to sell your stuff. Now, you have to remember, Marie's been at this for a long time, and her early website was basically a blog with a header and an opt-in box and her content, which is what most anybody can get away with online today and make bank because it works. It works, okay? Even my website right now, I've got some things that I'm not happy with, and yet it displays the content, it drives people to the actions that I want them to take. Like, I want you to take the quiz, it's right here, it's right here. You can't miss taking the quiz when you go to my homepage, right? That's the call to action I want you to take advantage of, and it does a good job of moving people in that direction. That's what a good website is for. Okay? Your website needs to do an outstanding job of presenting your offer in a way that makes it very clear to your right audience that they need to cross your palm with some green. Okay? If it doesn't do that, you've got a crappy website. period. I don't care how many pretty pictures you've got. I don't care how many times it flashes and blinks and plays music and has all these really cool transitions and pop-ups that slide in and slide out. None of that stuff matters if it isn't making revenue happen for you. Period. End of discussion, okay? One of the ugliest websites I have ever seen belongs to a company with over $500 million, billion with a B, $500 million in assets. Okay? That would be Berkshire Hathaway. BerkshireHathaway.com. Go and take a look. You can go right now, okay? I will still be here when you come back. It's a very Spartan, plain website. It looks more like the outline for a book report than a website. There are no pictures, it's all text with some horizontal rules. This looks like something from back in 1994 when I first started building websites. Okay? It's that generic, that ugly, if you will. But there is one thing that Warren Buffett knows. Okay? And that's how to get the most out of every penny, like any linear creative can. They will stretch that penny as far as they can and try and turn it into 2 or 4, because that's what linears do best. How do we make the most of what we've already got and spend as little money as possible doing it? Drive into that bottom line. What's that bottom line? Let's drive to it. It doesn't make sense for Berkshire Hathaway to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a website, because that's not where their right customers are. They don't need to woo investors with a flashy website. No, they're investors who are paying, hold yourself now, over $250,000 per share in the company's stock right now. Okay? $250,000 per share in this company's stock. They are not caring about how flashy your website is. They're caring about, can you make me money? If you can, I don't care what your website looks like. I want the brass tacks. Bring me the money. Okay? And Berkshire Hathaway gets that, and so their ugly website does a great job of conveying the information they need to convey to their shareholders without having to spend umpty-squajillion dollars on stuff they don't need, because it's not driving the bottom line of their business. Okay? That's not where the money's at. So for you, as a creative entrepreneur, I know you've seen those fancy WordPress themes with their parallax designs and their funky multi-widget layouts that you can drag and drop that give you that power, the power, to like build a website the way you want it to look and feel. I got it, right? I know they're out there, and I'm challenging you to back up the truck and wait, because you probably don't need to go down that road yet. You're probably not even ready to go down that road yet. And if you have already gone down that road and then you're like, well, maybe I want to upgrade and hire somebody to build me something customized, before you go spending thousands of dollars on a website, a Stepford website at that, okay? And yes, I said spend, not invest, because you're not investing at this point. You're just throwing your money away, okay? Let's see if your business even should consider doing a higher quality website yet, or if an ugly website's going to be just fine. Okay? There are 3 questions that I pose, and I challenge you to pose them to yourself before you're ready to plunk down thousands of dollars, even $1,000 on a new website. Okay? 3 questions. Question number 1. What business stage are you in? What is the business development phase that you are in? Okay? If you've got, this is a big if you've got market clarity and offer clarity, that means you know what you're selling and you know who you're selling it to, okay? Then it makes sense to start updating your messaging. Judy Knight is here, another brilliant web designer. Hello, Judy. Thank you for joining us, okay? So question number 1, what stage of business growth are you in? If you've got offer clarity, you've got market clarity, you know what you're selling and who you're selling it to, then it makes sense to start updating your messaging and your brand collateral to reflect that reality. But it still might not be time for a major website overhaul. And I say this in love for all my designers out there, okay? Because ask a designer worth their salt and they'll tell you, oh my God, if this person had more clarity, we could get this done faster. They would be happier. We wouldn't be pulling our hair out. Okay? Do the pre-work that you need to do on your end before you go to a designer and waste their time and your money. Okay? But even if you've got market clarity and offer clarity, it may still not be time to build a flashy website. Okay? And if you don't have those things, this is just a vanity project to make you feel better. You're investing in a Stepford website. Period. Okay? And you need to be really clear on what you're doing here. When I first launched my handmade candle business, so this was more than a decade ago, long time ago, okay? We started like every business starts at early struggle. And I talked about the stages of business growth in a previous episode, so if you haven't checked that out, go check that out, all right? But in early struggle, the singular goal is to get out of early struggle as fast as possible by finding a profitable, sustainable market. Not by investing in a website, not by doing a bunch of flashy crap. Find the market and sell to them until you've reached a saturation point where you're sustainable and you're profitable. That's the only thing you're supposed to do. Now, you may need a website, but you don't need the super bell flashy, super hydraulic powered engine overload, whoa, mega website. You don't need that, okay? When we started our candle business, we set up shop on eBay. That's where we started. We built a loyal following of repeat customers, and then we launched our own online store, which was super simple. Picture PayPal button, picture PayPal button, picture PayPal button. That was it, and a PayPal shopping cart. That was it. Okay? And we had a lot of products, so it was a lot of time with me doing the picture and the PayPal button and trying to get things to line up, and that was before mobile responsive and all that craziness, okay? So we kept it simple. And we had to generate enough income to pay for that new website, the hosting, the costs, and all that other stuff. Okay, if the business wasn't making the money, my husband was very clear. If it ain't making the money, it ain't spending the money. All right, we didn't have this huge cash reserve that we could, credit cards with $20,000 limits, we could just, oh, let's buy that. We couldn't do that. We didn't have that availability, right? It's very important that you're minding your P's and Q's and your dollars and cents when you are in early struggle. Now, we ran that website for about a year. And then I got crazy and I'm like, I need a database-driven website. I need something that people can search so that I'm not, having to try and do picture, button, right? So we developed this site, and it was a plugin. I think it was like maybe it was some kind of database website, and it wasn't Moodle, but it was something like that. Okay, it was basically a forum community kind of website, and we changed it for product, right? So tweaked something that was pre-built, and then put our own pictures and our own content in. And we ran with that website for about 4 years before we eventually closed the company and moved in a different direction, right? But it worked for 4 years. Yeah, I got bored with it. I'm like, oh. So I would update the banner picture to let people know what was on sale, but it was working. It was doing what it needed to do. People were coming, people were finding what they wanted, they were buying it, they were giving us money, we were happy campers. Okay? That's what your website is built to do. Your website's not there to make you feel good. And I say that in love because, yeah, you want to be happy about your website, you want to be proud of your website, but at the end of the day, the Berkshire Hathaway website is ugly as sin, but they're worth $260,000 a share. Do you want to have a valuation even a tenth of that? Maybe you don't need the website you think you need. You need, oh, I gotta have it. No, that's your vanity calling to you. All right, you can build an effective DIY website, a basic website that sells your stuff. Good copy, good pictures, and a clear marketing strategy to get people to that site. Okay, or you can use a third-party site like eBay or Shopify or CD Baby or Redbubble. I have clients who use those sites. I use some of those sites because they aggregate the audience for you, and it's a great way to test market a product to get people gauge that interest before you go investing in a huge website. Okay? Hello, Helena. You love my passion. I'm a little bit fired up about this today because I have seen too many people in the recent past who've got these beautiful websites to look at, and when you go behind the scenes, you're pulling your hair out because it's like, I don't even know how you make this thing work. I just had a client who had a gorgeous website, and we had one tiny little navigation problem in her mobile responsive version of her site. We could not find the stupid code to fix the icon. Now, I'm not a coder. I'm not really even a web designer, so I call on my professional team, right? I call my friend Phoenix, and I'm like, hey, we got a problem. Can you help me solve this problem? And Phoenix goes in there, and they're like, I'm not even sure where to find this because this code is so cray-cray. Now, this person has a beautiful website. When you look at it as a user, you're like, wow, it's so pretty, but it doesn't sell. It's not converting the way she needs it to convert. And we can't even figure out a small, simple code problem because of all of the layers of crap that have been buried on this person's Stepford website. Okay? And I love my clients, and it breaks my heart to see them going through this kind of torture that they could have avoided had they waited a little bit longer. Save that money just a little bit longer, or be willing to settle for fewer bells and whistles, all right? So that first question, what stage of business growth are you in? The sole focus, and I want to remind you of this, of early struggle is to find that profitable, sustainable market for your offer. Anything else, including investing in a fancy website, is a distraction from that, okay? In fact, my pal, RKA, the host of Awkward Marketing, she did a whole episode about the 3 things that you need to invest in before investing in websites. I will cut to the chase. Copy, pictures, and a strategy to sell your stuff. Like, get people to the website. Those are the 3 things. But seriously, if you're investing in a website and you don't have that other stuff, you're going out of the world backwards. You're going to waste your money. You're going to spin your wheels because your designer can't build the website until they have that stuff anyways. And if you give them crappy stuff and they build it with the crappy stuff and then you come back and go, well, now I have the good stuff, plug that in, that's just going to add to the cost. And they may still have to tweak some things because these pictures aren't the same size as those pictures, and this copy doesn't fit the same space as that copy, right? So do the pre-work. For the love of all things holy, and for all my designer friends out there, please don't make their lives miserable. Don't make yours miserable. Do the pre-work. Do the work that you need to have, which, brings me to that second question that you need to ask yourself. And this is really, really super important. Do you have brand clarity? Do you have brand clarity? Do you have it? The early years of your business need to focus on creating resonance and creating revenue. Resonance with your right audience. They're like, yes, I get you and you get me and we're on the same page and whoa, let's go, right? And then revenue. Because all of that yay, rah, rah, I feel good, let's do this, doesn't mean anything if it doesn't cross your palm with some green. Okay? That's important. Those 2 pieces, resonance and revenue. And that's what the first few years of your business are all about. As your income goes up and as your audience grows, then your message is going to organically develop, and that's going to inform your branding. Now, you may love neon green, for example, but if you create a neon green website and you're marketing serene, oceanside vista retreats with quiet and calm and peaceful bliss, you're probably going to have a branding mismatch or a disconnect, right? People don't associate neon green with calm, peaceful serenity, right? Again, you need to do the pre-work. Brand clarity resolves those kinds of issues. Now, I've been using WordPress for coming up almost on a decade, not quite. And I only recently invested in a fully custom-built theme with the last iteration, the one that's on my website right now. And I didn't have brand clarity. I am a poster child for the things you're not supposed to do, folks. I did it. I was chomping at the bit to make a change. I knew I needed to do something different. And I knew that this website was going to be the stepping stone for the thing that came next, but I wasn't clear on what the next thing was. I just knew that the old thing wasn't working and I needed something, right? So I didn't invest tens of thousands of dollars because that would have been dumb, because I didn't really know where I was going to end up. I invested in just a basic, generic, personal branded website. Like, it's going to be about me, let's talk about me, my events, the things that are coming up for me. And it did a great job of that, but it did a lousy job of selling to what I wanted to sell as I started my pivot. Okay? As I started to move into creative freedom, the website itself still had people going, I'm not really sure what you do or who you're for, because it's really just a website about you. And that was by design. Wasn't the brightest design in the world, but my designer talked me through it, and this is what I wanted, and she was great about it, and she gave me what I asked for, and she led me through a process, which I'll talk about in a minute, that gave me clarity on what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. So I don't regret the investment because it helped me get brand clarity, but I highly suggest you go for clarity first and make it offer focused, okay, and move in that direction. The new site that I'm working on with Tracy, my lovely Tracy, right? It's a timely update based on the direction that my company's been moving in now for the last few years. Okay, Creative Freedom is just about ready to roll into season 4. Season 4, you guys, season 4, I'm so excited. Okay, we're getting ready to roll into season 4, which means I've been working on this message for 4 years. I have been honing this audience for a couple of years. I've got a book that's coming out this fall about this topic. So I've been creating resonance, all right? I've been creating revenue. I have clients that are all about this idea of creative freedom. I have an incubator that's to capacity right now with clients who are working toward creative freedom. I have the show, okay? I have this content. I have been building the equity in the creative freedom brand. Now it's time to make the investment and take the next step, because I know what I'm selling, who I'm selling it to, what the message is for these people, and how to find them and find more of them so that they can come be a part of our community, right? I have brand clarity. Now it makes sense to make that investment. But here's the thing. The colors, fonts, textures, all of the images, all of that started coming together at the beginning of this year, and the new website's not done yet, okay? Not done yet. Hey, Shalonda, nice to have you here. So I had to do all that pre-work. What are the colors going to be? What are the fonts going to be? It took some time to do some of that stuff. Even with Tracy's help, it took time to do some of that stuff. And I had to have the photo shoot. You've seen some of the pictures from the photo shoot. There were lots of great pictures, and you have not seen them all. Okay, Tracy's seen them all because she got early access, because she's the person who's acting as my brand guardian to make sure that the things that are going out the door reflect the new direction that we're moving towards, so that it makes sense when it's time for the big reveal. Okay? And even in that process, we've had some fits and starts and stops. When the summer came, I was like, Tracy, I know I've been working on a website, but my priority this summer is my kids. So we have to put things on the back burner, and we can't pick things back up till fall. And she's like, I get it. So that delayed the process, not through her fault, but through my own set of priorities. And that's going to happen when you choose to make that kind of an investment. You have to know what your timeline is. Don't expect super fancy website in 24 hours. You're fooling yourself. And if somebody tries to promise you that, it's going to have all kinds of problems. It's going to drive you nuts. It is, because I've seen it. You'll have questions, and you'll have to email, and you'll have to ask more questions, and then you have to tweak. Be realistic about what you think you're getting. All right? Which brings me to question number 3 that you need to be asking, all right? Do you have a designer who leads or follows? Is your designer a leader or a follower? And this is where I have to dish out the tough love, okay? Because sometimes you want something and it sounds so good in theory, but in practice, it's like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, really? We can't do that. I mean, it can be done, but it's the most stupid thing in the history of the world at this time with the technology that's available right now. For example, back before my candle business, I ran a company where we sold exotic art and reproductions of ancient artifacts, okay? And I built this website by hand, and I thought it would be so cool because animated GIFs were like the rage, right? So this is like 94. And we didn't have video online. None of this fancy Facebook Live stuff was happening, right? So I thought it'd be really cool if I took pictures of each of the individual objects of art in a 360-degree view and then stitched them all together as an animated GIF so that people could watch this thing rotate in space like they were watching a video of the art object. I thought this was brilliant and it sounded like such a great idea until we put it into practice. And we took the pictures. You know, that takes time by itself just to take the pictures. Hold the camera steady on a tripod, rotate, click, rotate, click, rotate, click, rotate, click. Okay. Then each set of pictures has to be uploaded and edited and stitched together in a piece of software to create an animated GIF. Remember, this is 94. We didn't have all the technology we have now, right? So that took time. Then you have to upload this animated GIF to the website using dial-up, because we didn't have high speed back then. And then once you got it on, people have to wait for that thing to load so that they can sit there and watch it spin around like this. And it could take 20 minutes for it to load. So great idea in theory, crappy idea in execution, right? And a good designer, a designer with their salt is going to go, I hear what you're saying, and yeah, that sounds like it would be great, but let me tell you what it would really take to make that happen and why you probably don't want to do that. Okay? A good designer is going to lead you. And you might say, okay, Lisa, but that was the 1990s, and bandwidth and technology have improved since then. And yes, but it's only made matters worse. And here's what I mean by that. Again, my client, beautiful WordPress website to look at, but to go behind the scenes and just to edit the homepage, which I thought would be, yeah, a 20-minute fix. Change a couple of pieces of copy and we're good to go. Oh no, because each piece of copy on the page was in a different block, and some of them didn't line up on the page with what you saw on the screen, and so then you had to find it, and then you had to copy it, and then if you copied and pasted it and you didn't know the code, it wasn't the right color, and this thing took 3 hours. 3 hours of my life to try and fix. Should have been a simple copy and paste job. 3 hours. Because of all the plugins. It was like plugin inception in her website. This plugin and this plugin did the exact same thing, and somehow this plugin was embedded in the side of this plugin, so when you opened up this one, it opened up inside of this one, and you couldn't just control this one, and some of them were competing with each other. She had pop-ups that didn't work right, and they fought with each other, and I'm just like, I can't! I want to help you so bad, but this is madness. And Tracy says, yes, back-end clutter is the worst. Yes, my God, the back-end stuff, especially if you're a chaotic who doesn't manage it yourself. And that was the case with this client. She's a chaotic creative, so she doesn't know how the things work. She just knows what she wants, okay? And unscrupulous designers and eager beaver designers, okay, who have great intentions and just want to give you what you want, okay? They're cut from 2 different cloths, but the result is the same, okay? They love clients like you because as long as they meet the deliverable demands, they can charge you through the nose for every tweak, every fix, every modification, every customization, whether it makes financial sense for you or not. That's not what they're seeing. Customer wants this. We got to give them what the customer wants because the customer is always right, right? No. No, absolutely not. In this instance, when it comes to web design, you don't know what you don't know. Okay, and again, tough love here. Do not end up the stitched together animated GIF story of the 2000s. Okay, don't be that guy, don't be me. I've learned all this stuff the hard way and I am bringing it to you. No, I'm not talking about your website, Helena, I'm talking about somebody else's website. If it was yours, I'd be like, Helena, do I have permission to talk about your website? Your website actually is easy to navigate, really easy to navigate. You've got one of those plugins that does all the drag and drop stuff, but you only have one. This person had like 3 different drag and drop builder things built in and they were fighting with each other. And I'm like, I don't even know which one to fix to solve the problem, let alone to edit the thing, right? And so it takes an unnecessarily inordinate amount of time to do something that should be simple because you have decided, not you, Helena, but you, the business owner, have decided it has to look and feel just a certain way. Like it's got to have blue right there and only that much. Well, that costs coding time. That costs effort that's a lot more than you think it is. It's not like graphic design with Photoshop, okay? That's not how web design works. And the sooner you realize that you can't always get what you want without paying through the nose for it, the sooner your life will be happy. But these well-meaning designers will take you to the cleaners because that's what you said you wanted, right? I maintain and my best designer friends, some of whom are here right now, will probably back me up on this, that it's your designer's job to not just design, but also educate you on what works, on what's smart for where you're at with your budget and with what you're trying to really accomplish, okay? Rather than just taking your money, you want it to have a flashy background and have your picture pop up like this, and then have an opt-in box come in from over here, and then do this and that, and fireworks and pom-poms. We can do that. Rather than having someone who's like, yes, whatever you want, okay, who's going to build you a Stepford website, pretty, but don't work, okay? You want somebody who's going to lead you through an interview process to help you determine what are the real goals of your website. What are you really trying to accomplish? And 95% of the time, your website goal is to sell your stuff. I want a website that's going to convert visitors into subscribers, into buyers, so that I am making money. Period. Okay? And I feel bad for my client because she thinks it's just an easy fix, right? Well, can we just tweak that one thing? And it should be an easy fix, but because of her website, no, I cringe every time she asks, can you fix it? No, I can't. If I do, it's going to take an hour, and it shouldn't have to take an hour, but that's what we're dealing with here, right? So have someone who's going to lead you through a process of determining what's the functionality you really need, okay? What are the nice to haves, and if they're in your budget, then we can add them, okay? But chances are good, you don't need a Marie Forleo website with a spinny wheel and a searchable this and a whole bunch of drop-down that's and floating in this things and all that. No, you don't need all that. Remember, Marie had a basic ugly website for years. Banner, opt-in box, content. It works. Keep it simple. And then her second evolution, if you will, was big hero, opt-in box, content. Like, nav, like simple, simple, simple. Okay, it's only been this next evolution that it's gotten super flashy, and she's already a millionaire before she did that, guys. Think about it. Okay, it made sense that her brand message, she had brand clarity, she had market clarity, she had offer clarity, and she made the move because it was the right thing to do for her at that time, not because it was pretty. She put a lot of thought into that, and so should you. Your designer needs to tell you point blank if what you're trying to accomplish is more about vanity than functionality. They're going to show you the best use of your design budget. Well, based on what you said you want, what you want this site to do and what your budget is, this is probably the best way to spend that money. Okay, now you spend it however you want, but I'm the professional here, and this is what I think you really will get the most bang for your buck out of. All right? And they'll tell you that there are better ways to piss your money away than a jillion plugins that won't work by this time next year, or that are going to fight with each other. Okay? A good designer knows that stuff because they take the time to stay caught up on that stuff because that's their business. It's what they do. I mean, Judy hosts and goes to WordCamps and speaks at WordCamps because WordPress is her baby. WordPress is the thing that she runs her stuff on. It doesn't make sense for her to not stay abreast of what's going on with WordPress because that's what she's using. Okay? That's why this is important. You need to know these 3 questions before you even think about putting any money down, because otherwise you're going to end up with a Stepford website. And you don't need that because it's not going to do the job. It's not going to do the job. Now, to that end, because I think brand clarity is a piece that we don't get a lot of help with. We're kind of left to flounder and fend for ourselves unless we hire a branding pro. My designer, Tracy, is going to join me for a very special free call this Saturday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, okay? And if you are on my mailing list, you will get the details. Now, how do you get on my mailing list? It's really simple. You're just going to hop yourself over to LisaRobbinYoung.com/quiz. Take the quiz that will get you on the list. If you've already taken the quiz, you should be on my list, okay? And I will send an email later this week with all the dial-in details. It is free to listen live. I do these calls every month for my Accountability Club members. And I make it available for the whole public. Just get on the phone. You don't have to put on clothes. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just pick up the phone and dial the number, and you are in like Flynn. And Tracy and I are going to talk about some of the things that we're doing with my site, we're going to talk about those strategies, and we're going to look at these questions in more detail. And she's going to give you her insights on what it takes to get real brand clarity in your business, so that when you are ready to make that step, you can do it with confidence and know what you're talking about when you come to a designer and go, here's what I'm about, here's what I need, here's my budget, what can you do for me? Instead of letting the designer follow your every whim, let the designer lead by giving them the tools that they need to succeed. Okay? That's it today. That's it in a nutshell. So I want to hear from you. Did I miss an important question, all you designers who are on my show today? Did I miss an important question that you really need to think about before putting down the money to invest in a quality website? Put your ideas in the comments. Ask your questions. Let's be a rising tide for everybody, because that's what this is all about, right? I'm doing this stuff because I want you guys to succeed, and I don't want you to blow money that you don't need to blow, because that's always sad. Nobody wants to lose $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on a website that doesn't work. Heck, $1,000 on a website that doesn't work, that you can't maintain, that your team can't maintain. You don't want your VA logging in going, oh my gosh, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. You don't want a developer going, I'm not even sure what they did here. I don't even know where to begin to try and solve the problem. I'm just like, wow, could we just erase the whole thing and start over? That would be great. We don't want that for you. We want you to have a great website and a happy life and make lots of money, because that's what creative freedom is all about. I'm not showing any new comments in the thread, so that is going to wrap it up for us today. Next week, and in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be on location. Next week, I am at the lake. The week after that, it's my live event. So we will be broadcasting live from some unique and interesting locations on mystery topics that I'll talk about at that time. Until then, for more inspiring songs, stories, resources to help you build a noble empire, live an inspired life without selling your soul, because that's important, or getting a Stepford website. We don't want that. Come check me out, LisaRobbinYoung.com. That's where I am, right there, LisaRobbinYoung.com. And I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.